Gold, the euro, and the Nasdaq are all up so far this week, but do these moves have legs, or is this just another trap? That's what we're talking about in today's video, and I have some things to show you that could change the way you approach this week, so be sure to stay tuned specifically on the US dollar. So my name is Justin Bennett, full-time trader and founder of Daily Price Action. As always, all of this is my opinion only and not financial advice. So let's get right into it here, looking at gold XAUUSD. So if you saw the weekend SMC Outlook video, what we talked about there was, or at least what I talked about and what I'm looking for, is the potential for a lower high to develop, despite the fact that we did test a significant low last week. So what you can see here is that we have this low right back here. Okay, we also have this low that swept the low last week and recovered. Now, on the surface, this looked bullish. Okay, this is the point down here where I said that really, technically speaking, it made no sense to be looking for gold shorts down here. Because when you look at this market, even on a 4-hour time frame, and you just map this out and look at the swings in the market over the past few months, would you want to short a market when you're looking at this area down here? Absolutely not, okay? You want to wait for some relief and short a lower high if we get it. Now, the key to a lower high were a couple of things. First of all, you can see we had this inefficiency back here. So this candle that we talked about, you can see where that is being mitigated so far on Monday. We also have this area up here above this high, so closer to 4,400 to 4,440. So this up here is also a large inefficiency for gold to where we could see the market actually tap into this before we see some further weakness. Now, one reason why I'm looking for shorts here, and that might be an unpopular opinion because of the quote unquote deal that has been signed between Trump and Iran. And we've all heard about that in the headlines, of course. I'm not a fundamental trader, guys. I use technicals only, specifically SMC. But the deal that's been signed, okay, I'm going to say deal in quotes because really it's not a deal at all. It's simply an MOU to discuss the details of a deal. And even Vance this morning said that they are worlds apart. There's a lot of details to iron out so far. So in my opinion, okay, and there's going to be people that disagree with me, and that's fine. But in my opinion, really, it sounds very similar to what we've heard over the past few months. I don't really think that all that much has changed. Yes, it's great that there is an MOU that is being signed for them to discuss details of a deal. But as far as there actually being a deal in place, from the details out there, guys, there is no deal in place for peace. Okay, I wish there was, but right now there is not. So anyway, guys, I'm not a fundamental trader. I go based on technicals alone, but I did want to throw that out there just because looking at the headlines, reading what's out there, I did want to clarify that for some people because I know there is a lot of talk of a peace deal out there. And right now, guys, there is no peace deal. Okay, so I think that's important to understand and really differentiate between a peace deal versus an MOU. Anyway, looking here at gold, we have, again, these inefficiencies up here. Now, what this is going to come down to, as always, like I talked about over the weekend, is a change of character. Now, what you would have to see is on the 4-hour time frame. Let's take a look here at these two areas. So if we map out this area here, you can see, again, we are mitigating that so far today. Now, if we look at this area back here and do the same thing, okay, so this is an inefficiency up here in this area. So off of this region through here, and we go to a 15-minute time frame. What I would have to see in order to justify shorting gold would be a convincing change of character on something like a 15-minute time frame. Now, you could look at this here and say, well, this right here is a change of character. Okay, you have the BOS up here, and you have the change of character down here. Now, it could be, okay, it could be. However, the one thing I would caution you on is this pullback right here is very, very shallow, okay? This was a very shallow pullback. It's also Monday, very early in the week. I would personally, if I were going to short this, I would want to see this low taken out down here. That would give me more confidence that we are losing this structure right here. And we could see a pullback, at a minimum down here toward gaps like this and possibly lower. Okay, so without that right there, there is no short here on gold. It is, technically a bullish market right now. Now, the other thing too is going back here to a 15-minute time frame. Okay, and the same thing too up here, guys. By the way, the same thing up here too. If we saw the market actually head up here, give us another higher high, another higher low, the same thing up here, you would have to see the market give you a convincing BOS and then a convincing change of character and a lower high to convince me that the top is in, okay? So I am looking for shorts here. Like I said over the weekend, I'm looking for a lower high to develop within this series of lower highs and lower lows since April. Now, it doesn't mean that it will happen. It also means that I need to see that lower time frame confirmation. And so far, there is nothing here on Monday to make me want to short this market. And look, this is going to be the case too, for me at least, as long as we're below this protected high up here. So as long as we're below 45.95, then this leg lower, in my opinion, this is all one price leg. Okay, so what that means from a structure standpoint, from a smart money concept standpoint, is that you had the lower highs and lower lows back here. Okay, this was your lower high that developed, and this was all one price leg. Now, a lot of people could get tripped up by this price action through here and looking at this as a BOS, and then if we close above here, a change of character. Now, that could be the case. However, again, you have to be careful with very shallow retracements like this, and also the fact that we do have this inefficiency back here. Okay, so again, in my opinion, this high down here to the low, this is all one price leg here for gold, okay? And that's important in terms of structure because what it means is that if I just remove these here and we talk about external high to external low, what it means for gold is that you can see we are entering into premium right now on Monday, okay? So what you'll also notice that we have OTE up here, optimal trade entry, right here in this inefficiency as well, okay? So really, I would like to see, like if you look at a 15-minute time frame too, just from a simple trend line standpoint, looking at this here on these lows, if you look at these recent lows from this one right back here, okay, so low here, a couple of lows through here, and you can see where we are testing, this area down here right now, okay? So even just from a trend line standpoint, like as far as a support standpoint here for gold, you can see where we are technically here at support, right? A couple of lows down here. This is the low that started at these two lows down here. And you can see where gold is technically holding that level right now as I make this video. So again, guys, even though I am looking for a lower high to develop, I just want to be clear that I am not shorting gold. I have not shorted gold this week. I have no intention of doing that right now. If it were to set up in a convincing way, then I would. However, I still have my eyes on this inefficiency right up here. Okay, so let's move along now to the euro. And by the way, too, guys, before we go on, if we were to get a lower high developing, then of course my target would be this low right down here and areas like 38.95 that we discussed last week, and potentially we get the move down toward 34, 3,500 over the coming months. But that's yet to be seen. We'll see if we get that. And like I said too, this protected high up here, this is the high that as long as we're below this area up here, I am looking for shorts. If we were to take that out over the coming days, then of course that would be more bullish for gold. Okay, so the euro. And before we go into this, guys, if you do want to see exactly how I trade, check out the link right here on the screen. That is going to give you a free, completely free SMC course that shows you my full-time strategy. I use this to trade full-time. It's 2 hours of content that you will not find on YouTube. So it walks you through the entire process from start to finish. And then beyond that too, once you opt into that free training, you will have an offer to join us in Discord if you want. So that's lifetime access. There's no subscription to it. You can join us in Discord, see my trades in real time. You get the full SMC course. And then you also get my ideas throughout the day and just my general help in Discord with any questions that you have Monday through Friday. And you'll also see a link down there too for my #1 broker that I have trusted now for over 8 years. You can get a 30% deposit bonus with them for a limited time only through my link. Okay, so let's take a look here at the euro. Now, this is interesting because what I mentioned over the weekend here was that we had a couple of things happening. We had this single print up here, which is an imbalance in the market. So this is a very thinly traded area, which you can see on the way down. This level right here was very thinly traded. It's an inefficient auction, and markets often come back to areas like this to facilitate an efficient auction. And that's exactly what we saw here from the euro so far this week. So as you can see, very sharp move up here so far. And we also have the bottom of this channel, okay? So this is not a case where I'm looking for this exact level to hold as resistance. As always, I was looking for the push up here into this area. Like I said, around 116, that's what I said last week. And then followed by a potential 15-minute change of character. Now, this is getting interesting because I'm going to remove this here, the single print, because we already satisfied that. If you look here at these highs and lows, what you'll notice is that off of this high up here, if we call this a BOS, which it was, okay, because we technically closed above here on the 15, then it means this low down here is the protected low. So I'm betting possibly while I'm making this video, we see the euro actually bounce from here, buyer step in and protect this. But if we do get a 15-minute close below here, that could signal, okay, a close below here, that could signal a change of character here where we have a local top developing. Now, I do want to be clear that just because you get this on the 15 does not mean that if we go back to a 4-hour, it doesn't mean that just because you get this up here on the 15-minute chart, it doesn't mean the euro is just going to do this. Okay, I want to be clear about that. It could just be a case of, getting a pullback down here toward this imbalance, or possibly this imbalance down here, or these lows back here in this area around 115. It could just be that. But the point is that on the 15-minute chart, if we were to get the euro taking out this low right back here, then in my opinion, you've got inefficiencies like this one back here and possibly this one back here that are now open for business, okay? So I think in the near term, take out this low back here on the 15, you're looking for that lower high to develop and possibly a push down here towards some of these inefficiencies. Okay, and this is supported too, literally supported by the DXY, which if you take a look here at the 4-hour time frame, this is what I talked about over the weekend. We had a single print back here as well that I talked about at 99.47. And again, areas like this tend to serve as magnets for a market. I talked about it the entire time the DXY was going sideways. Look what we see right here on Monday, right? The market has now mitigated or retested that, and we are getting a bounce from the bottom of this channel, okay? So this down here was the area to look for buys on the USD. So you look at this here, you combine it with the euro, and all of this starts to come together. You can see where right now the euro is actually testing that low, okay? So again, I think if we take this out, we're looking for, lower highs and lower lows down here into some of these inefficiencies around like let's call it 115.70, possibly this one down here around 115.30. Okay. So that's short term. Now, obviously, if we were to then get a little bit more bearish here for the euro, take out these lows back here around 115, then we're opening up downside targets. And the reason too why I continue to look for shorts here, guys, even though this too might be an unpopular opinion because everybody's now looking for the US dollar to sell off, given this deal that we have out there. As I said before, though, it's not actually a peace deal. But that aside, looking here at the euro daily time frame, you can see that we have this BOS that occurred back here, very convincing close above. We then had the market take out this low down here, which was an external low. This right here gave us a change of character. At this point, I was looking for a lower high to develop. So on a more macro perspective for the euro, I am looking for lower highs and lower lows. Okay, I am bearish on the euro given this back here. Okay, so with that in mind, it's keeping me bearish even on things like the 1 hour or 4-hour charts. Okay, I have no interest in buying this market with that on the daily chart. I am looking for lower highs to develop. And you can see that too here on the 4-hour time frame that really you look back here since April and it has just been a case of lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so that is my take right now in the euro. I think this level right here, let's move in here to a 15 so I can give you guys an exact level to watch. And there's the bounce too that I talked about. So this level right back here at 115.94 is going to be the one to watch there on the 15-minute time frame. Take that out. I think we see a move lower down here toward these inefficiencies. Okay, stay above this though, and there is no short, and we could see another rally from the euro. Okay, so just keep an eye on the DXY too as well. This right here, if you look at the 15-minute chart, if we map this out and do the same exact thing, this is a little bit more interesting because the DXY is actually already giving you the signal. Okay, so this low right back here, you have the BOS, again, very convincing here on the 15-minute time frame. You have the BOS, you have the high up here. This right now is a change of character, okay? And of course, this is internal too, because we're talking about a 15-minute time frame. This is more internal, but given this right here, okay, given this on the 15-minute time frame, it does kind of look like the market's trying to put in a local bottom. Now, remember, this could just be a move back here toward inefficiencies like this. It doesn't mean that this right here, this local bottom, it doesn't mean that we're going to see 101 or 102 all of a sudden. All it could mean is that we're coming back here toward the highs and possibly this area up here, this inefficiency, okay? So just keep that in mind, but it does overall look like the dollar is trying to put in a local bottom here on Monday. Okay, so let's wrap things up now with the Nasdaq. Now, this market has been in rally mode since gapping up on Monday. And if you guys saw the video I put out, in fact, I put out a video out late last week and also over the weekend where I talked about the same thing. And I hope you guys saw it because what this came down to was looking for a lower time frame change of character. So we had on the 4-hour time frame, if you go out here, we had this change of character down here. Okay, so on the way up, we had this pullback here. We broke above, that gave us the BOS. This now was a protected low down here. We had the close below, giving us that change of character. So with this right here, I was looking for a lower high to develop, and I'm still looking for that, still interested in it. However, here is the key, and this is such a big part, guys, of how I trade and really how SMC works. And this is one reason too why a lot of people, they try SMC or they hear about it and they see stuff like this and they say it doesn't work. Well, it does work. You just have to use all of the pieces of the system, right? And one of those pieces, the biggest part of that system, is waiting for confirmation. And what you'll notice here is that over the weekend, I said, watch 30K. There was a single print up here in this area. So we were likely to see that mitigated, which we saw here on Monday with the gap up. However, we also never saw the market take out these lows. Okay. So there was no change of character here on Monday. So there was nothing to short. And this is what I said last week. On Saturday, if you watch that video, I said this right here. We had two scenarios. One, we come up here, we mitigate this area, and we give a very convincing change of character, in which case I'm looking for shorts. Okay. BOS, change of character. Very simple. Okay. However, the other scenario was for the market to come up here, give us higher highs and higher lows and not pull back. Okay. And that's exactly what we had. You can see here, there was nothing here, okay, to short. So again, hopefully you guys saw that video. Hopefully you listened to the entire thing and you didn't get caught just blindly shorting up here, because that's the last thing you want to do. There was absolutely no change of character here around 30K for the Nasdaq. Okay, now we are back above this channel here. Obviously, again, market's rallying on that quote unquote deal that's out there. Again, it's not a peace deal. It's just an MOU to discuss a deal. In my opinion, not a lot has changed, but like I said too, I'm not a fundamental trader. So it is going to come down to structure to me. And until we take out this high back here, technically this right down here is still intact. Okay. This is still a possibility as long as we are below this high. At the same time though, you don't, in my opinion, want to just go blindly shorting this market through here. Okay. That's the last thing you want to do. You want to wait for something very convincing, which if we look at a 15-minute chart right now, in my opinion, the most convincing price action back here on Monday was this right here. So you've got this high. Okay. So this was your BOS, and this low down here is now the one to watch. And I am by no means saying that we are going to come down here and take this out. Okay. I want to be clear about that too. I don't forecast, I don't predict. But this level down here at 30,180 is going to be the low to watch. Okay. If on Tuesday or Wednesday, we come down here and we take this out and we trade below here, then in my opinion, we have that potential for this to become a lower high. Okay. And I am looking for shorts, on this right here, and then that lower high to develop. I'm looking for shorts on this if we get it. But again, this comes down to two scenarios. We either get that, or this market just continues to push higher with higher highs and higher lows, in which case I'm not shorting anything. And the reason too why I'm not looking for longs is because it's against my rules. First of all, I have specific rules in place. It's the same rules I teach in the VIP group. But I have rules in place that prevent me from longing high like this. I'm not going to long a market when we're just below all-time highs. And I'm also not going to long a market after we have a change of character in place. Okay. But waiting for that lower time frame change of character, that confirmation, that is what is key here in this case and every case that I talk about here on this channel. Okay. So I think right now, guys, the big story is right there. You can see the US dollar kind of starting to take off here a little bit. I think the big story here right now is that the stock market is staying resilient, as it has now for months, really. It is staying resilient, but I am keeping a very close eye on it this week as a potential lower high. The US dollar is perking up. That could affect gold. We'll keep an eye on that there. And the euro here breaking below this level. We'll see if it closes below into this Monday close. If so, you've got these inefficiencies back here in this area that could be targeted over the coming, let's say 24 to 48 hours. If it doesn't do this, okay, or if it closes back above these highs, then the rally continues. But for now, it kind of looks like we could get a push down here into these inefficiencies. I truly hope this video helped. If it did, keep it locked in here by subscribing to the channel and also hitting that bell icon. And don't forget too to click the link right here on the screen for that free SMC strategy. It is exactly how I trade full time. So until next time, trade well. I will talk to you again tomorrow.